For a biopic, the facts were certainly scattershot.
Mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia, let me go.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things Bohemian Rhapsody got factually right and wrong. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at those moments from the 2018 Queen biopic that were based in reality, and those that were fictionally dramatized for the screen. Number 10. Freddie credited his extra teeth for his voice. True. The most distinctive physical feature of Freddie Mercury is arguably his massive overbite. In the movie, Freddie explains to the band that he was born with extra incisors, and that the extra space in his mouth helps with his vocal range. While this could have been something the movie made up to address his overbite, it's actually true. Rudy Dolitzal, the founder of a company that filmed various Queen music videos and documentaries, states that Freddie was always afraid of having his mouth fixed because he thought it would negatively affect his voice. In Dolitzal's words, quote, "He was more concerned with his voice than his looks. And I think that says a lot about the man."
I had them cast in gold.
Wow!
Number 9. Queen sold their touring van to produce their debut album. False. The main thing Bohemian Rhapsody is criticized for is needlessly adhering to music biopic cliches. This is unfortunately one of them.
Roger, there's only room in this band for one hysterical queen.
In the movie, the cash-strapped band sells its tour van for precious studio time. In real life, Queen got extremely lucky when the Sheffield brothers of Trident Studios provided them free access to their popular state-of-the-art facility in exchange for managerial rights and having Queen work during off-peak hours. Roger Taylor loved working during the studio's downtime, calling it, quote, gold dust. However, a privileged band with free access to cutting-edge equipment doesn't make for an interesting underdog story now, does it? Number 8. The band clashed with a record executive named Ray Foster. False.
Mark these words. No one will play Queen.
A major antagonist in the movie is EMI executive Ray Foster, played by a nearly unrecognizable Mike Myers.
It's my money. I say, what go?
He's a grumpy, greedy man who hates Queen's eclectic music and tells them to make more commercial songs so he can make more money. However, this is yet another fabrication and biopic cliche. In fact, Ray Foster isn't even a real person, but a character very loosely based on EMI's Roy Featherstone. We say loosely based because Roy actually loved Queen's music and was almost nothing like Ray. Foster is a one-dimensional placeholder meant to personify the band's obstacles and nothing more.
Galileo, 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 Figaro.
Number 7. Freddie and Marys' relationship lasted throughout Freddie's life. True. As nonsensical as the business side of the movie is, it stayed relatively true to Freddie's lifelong friendship with Mary Austin. In the movie, Mary leaves Freddie after he comes out as bisexual, but remains by his side until his death in 1991. Freddie and Mary were incredibly close in real life, and Freddie even bought Mary her own place near 12 Stafford Terrace after she called off their relationship.
My name is Mary Austin. I'm a long-term friend of Freddie's.
Freddie later served as the godfather to Mary's son Richard, and Mary cared for Freddie in his final days. Mercury has even been quoted as saying that Mary was his only true friend, and that no sexual partner could ever replace his love for her.
To me, it was a marriage. She's my common law wife. We carry on now as like we were married. So it's marriage is a term for other people. We believed in each other.
Number 6. We Will Rock You was written in the 80s. False.
Stamp to this beat. Come on.
Bohemian Rhapsody plays really fast and loose with the band's chronology, and for seemingly no reason. The movie weirdly has us believe that Brian May wrote We Will Rock You in the 1980s, which was well into Queen's worldwide dominance. In reality, We Will Rock You was the opening track on News of the World, which was released in October 1977 and recorded the previous summer. It was a worldwide hit and was consistently played on the radio alongside We Are the Champions. By 1980, We Will Rock You was one of Queen's biggest songs, and a concert staple due to the audience interaction.
What's going on?
You know if you're on time?
I want to give the audience a song that they can perform. So what can they do?
Number 5. John Deacon was the band's original bassist. False. Okay, we understand wanting to cut this down for time, but despite what the movie may tell you, John Deacon was not the band's original bassist. In Bohemian Rhapsody, Deacon plays with Queen during their first concert in 1970. However, 1970 was a turbulent time for Queen, as they were going through 3 different bassists: Mike Gross, Barry Mitchell, and Doug Ewood Bogie, all of whom left due to a lack of chemistry with the band. Deacon then met Taylor and May through a mutual friend, and became Queen's 4th bassist in February of 1971. He made his first live appearance with the band a few months later. Number 4. Freddie knew he was HIV positive before Live Aid. False.
This next song is only dedicated to beautiful people here tonight. It means all of you. Thank you for coming along.
The movie needs to end in dramatic fashion, so they manipulated the timeline to attain the desired results. At the climax of the movie, Freddie reveals to the band that he has AIDS during rehearsals for their Live Aid performance. They embrace, and the tears swell. Only this isn't even close to what happened. While no one knows definitively, Freddie's partner Jim Hutton says that Freddie was diagnosed with AIDS in April 1987, nearly 2 years after Live Aid. Freddie was also extremely secretive about his illness, and while the band obviously knew he was sick, Brian May says they learned Freddie was HIV positive only shortly before his death. Number 3. Bohemian Rhapsody was considered too long. True.
This is when the operatic section comes in.
Oh, the operatic section, yeah.
Mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia, let me go.
Even though Ray Foster was not a real person, his main argument, that Bohemian Rhapsody was way too long to be successful, was a real threat the band faced. Queen was told by numerous record executives and fellow musicians that an unorthodox, nearly 6-minute-long song would never be played on the radio. To get around this, they personally went to Capitol Radio's Kenny Everett, who helped generate interest by playing the song 14 times in 2 days. The song then spent 9 weeks atop the UK singles chart, but it received mixed reviews from critics, many of whom praised the song's production, but called it pretentious and disjointed. Number 2. Freddie was conveniently at a Smile concert as their lead singer quit. False. Bohemian Rhapsody makes it seem as if the formation of Queen was governed by some higher power.
I enjoyed the show. I write songs.
Our lead singer just quit.
Then you'll need someone new.
Freddie storms out after a fight with his parents and randomly attends a Smile concert on the very night their lead singer quits. He then wows the band with his talent and becomes their vocalist. Too bad this fortuitous meeting is total nonsense. In reality, Freddie Mercury, then Freddie Bulsara, was good friends with Smile's vocalist Tim Staffel and was a huge follower of the band. Not only that, Freddie was introduced to Brian and Roger through Tim, ran a flea market with Roger, and even lived with his future bandmates in London for a brief time. Number 1. Queen split up. False. Enter musical biopic cliche number 3. The band splits up. Freddie earns a solo deal that upsets the band, and Queen dissolves before dramatically returning for a reunion concert at Live Aid. The real story is far less theatrical, as real life often is. For one thing, Roger Taylor released a solo album before Mercury, so the whole going solo thing wasn't a big deal. Furthermore, following a very short break in early 1983, Queen was together right up until Live Aid in July 1985, with the Works Tour, which encompassed 48 performances, having just wrapped 2 months prior. We suppose Live Aid was a reunion concert in that it was a reunion after a whole 2-month-long absence from the stage. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.